Did you know that when you do less and you don't push your brain too hard and you don't fry it completely, you have a better life? Captain Obvious, reporting for duty. But how many times in my life have I done the opposite? How many times in my life am I still doing the opposite, even though I should know better because I'm already 40? How many times will I still do the opposite in the future? I'm gonna give a wild guess that it's not going to be zero. But anyway, this is something that I'm learning over and over. And I'm currently unemployed at the moment. And although it's not a fun time, I'm noticing how much better my brain is doing because I'm able to use my time differently and really figure out how to use it in a way that is not completely fried. And I'm like, it's actually a perk, right? Of course, not pleasant situation, but for sure, I'm noticing how much better my brain is working, how much more creative and focused and faster and more accurate I am at producing applications and things like this. And it's simply because I'm able to manage the time and I'm able to do less, or I'm able to do the same thing but without pressuring the brain. And even comparing to just a few months ago when I was in a normal job and I was going to the office a few times a day, even though I was still working remotely and I have more freedom about how I use my time, it's like I'm always used to push my brain past its limits. I think it comes from childhood and the way we were taught at school, where you have to really work very hard. And then some of the educations I did after high school, it was very competitive environment where I was also working so many hours, probably like, I don't know, how many hours can you work a day? 12? That's a lot. Lot for somebody who is very, very young. And it's also the way that the normal work setting I was in at the beginning of my career with like big corporations was also working. And I feel, you're like, oh, I have this 8 hours of work to do today and I have to pack and I have to use all this time and I have to pack and do stuff. And your brain is like, I was done by, 11 a.m. Sorry, I was already done with my capacity for the day. And it's something that I've started to unlearn when I was self-employed, because I had, again, more freedom to use my time differently, or to leverage the time in a better way and to really fit it with when my brain was working better, when I was, more ready for execution, or I was more ready for social things, or I was more ready for, doing some coaching or doing some more creative brainstorming stuff. And I feel it's something that it's very hard when you're in a normal job to actually keep. And I'm almost scared, to be honest, to go back to work, because I see how much better I'm doing when I'm in a setting where I can control the time differently. Or, I'm really scared that if I'm in a new environment where I have to do more, I will feel that I need to do them fast as well, and it's going to be creating deadlines or stress that is really unnecessary. So for me, it's like I would like to really encapsulate this brain management that is a little bit better within me. So this is my commitment today. This is what I'm sharing with you, is because I want to hear myself say out loud, this is how my brain works the best, so that I can keep that in mind, whatever a new job I take, to make sure that there is a proof out there that I committed to myself to do this. And hopefully that helps you as well. Think about your own brain health, basically, or your own brain management, because I think it's something that we don't really think about until we are really burned out, or we can see, okay, I can't do one thing more today. This is it. I'm really done. Or, if maybe you are working the whole week and then the weekend you are completely crashing. All these things means already that the brain is doing too much. And yeah, one of the questions I ask myself right now always is, am I gone too far already? I remember I had this friend who was saying about food that if you feel full after a meal, it's because you've already eaten too much. Like, you've already eaten so much food that your stomach is full, and that's already too much. That's not what you should be giving it. And for me, the same thing with the brain. It's like, are you too far already? Are you already noticing that your brain is resisting and is really exhausted? Because that means that you already went too far with its capacity, and that there was another moment before that to stop. And for me, this is something I'm trying to really learn, is to notice when this is happening for the full day. It's like, how many hours can I realistically work to feel good? For me, it's around 7 hours, but 7 hours where I do more in the morning and I do less in the afternoon, or I take a good lunch break, and then I do something else, and then I go back to work. This works better for me to make my brain feel that it's doing the work and using its capacity properly, but it's not like forcing it and just pushing myself to do stuff to just fill in the time that I'm supposed to work. The other thing that I'm doing is really maintenance. I call it maintenance. It's like brain health management, but it's more like just noticing, hey, if my brain is starting to feel a little bit tired, do I need to take a break? Do I just need to stand up and walk and take some water? Do I need to breathe a little bit? Because sometimes when I'm very focused, in sitting like this, I forget to breathe. So my brain just needs oxygen, which maybe you might realize is also the same thing for you. But I feel there is a lot to do with like just in general physical health, and how you are moving your body and how you are thinking about your like physical needs like hydration, oxygen, and stuff like this actually can also help the brain general function better. And that's something that I'm also learning, that if I give these micro breaks, because it's not like big break, for instance, if I just go for a walk for 5 minutes, it's not like a massive difference in my day and in terms of what I can achieve. But if it actually helps my brain feel a little bit better, or just at this reset moment between different tasks, or even, to take a break in the middle of a big task so that I feel that I'm refreshing myself a little bit, then it's actually better. So this is the things that I'm trying to notice also, not just how far my brain is already exhausted, but if I need something physical to change that. And the other thing that I also challenge myself to think about is stress management, because sometimes I overwhelm myself. I feel maybe you can relate to this. I did a video on that recently. I can link it as well. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, do I really need to do all this today? Do I really need to apply to all these jobs? Can I do parts today and parts tomorrow? What is really important here? What is really has to be done? Is that the pressure that I'm like, the deadline I'm giving myself to do this? Is it actually real, or is it just like fake pressure I'm inventing in my head that my brain actually is like, oh, I'm not responding well to that. Can you stop? If I look at my list for the day, does it feel manageable? Does it feel like I can complete it and I will be still in a good shape up there and I will be happy with it? And maybe I'm able to do something more if my brain is like, yay, we had a good day, I feel good right now, I still have something that I can give you. And then with my brain, we can decide, yes, okay, we do a little bit more today and then we do a little bit less tomorrow or whatever. But I feel this kind of questions is also helping me, because sometimes I'm just like pushing myself to do things just to either fill the time, or because I feel there is a deadline that doesn't really exist, or because I feel it's up to me to do it. And this type of questioning about more like time management, are you really spending your time on the right thing, and just having more like critical thinking about what you are actually doing before you are doing it or while you are doing it, is also very helpful to keep the brain in a good shape. And get it to your brain, okay, brain, there is only one task we have to complete today, and that changes the expectations you have for yourself. That helps reducing stress, and then whatever you can do on top can be good. So it's actually a good way to remove the pressure unnecessarily that you might have put on yourself. We are all there. Don't worry. I'm there all the time, trying to overwhelming myself without realizing that I'm doing it. And the last thing I'm doing, so I'm doing the check if I've done too much already, check if my body needs something, check if there is a real reason for all this pressure and stress. And I also try to do more things that are balancing the left and right side of my brain. So like, things that are more logical, analytical, and execution based versus things that are more creative and free-flowing, and there is no pressure and nobody cares if I do them. Like something that is more, I feel like there is like the kind of like more pressure, things have to be done, and the more like I can do whatever I want part of my brain, and trying to combine these two into a general like habits. Like if every single day I can do something creative, I will feel better, my brain will feel more engaged in different way, and it's more light up. So it also helps with the execution part. Same thing, I feel sometimes it's just about resting. It might not be about doing something, it might just be about rest. Because you can also see that sometimes if I do nothing, or I'm just going for a walk, or I'm just on the bench outside feeding squirrels, I'm going to have some insights and some ideas that can pop up that would not have been there before, because I've given space to my brain, which means that my brain is working better. And then the next day I can go execute on that way faster. So it's more about like trying to activate the brain in different way that is not just logical, because I know for me only the logical work and very execution based work just numbs me completely. My brain is like dead inside. It's executing, but it's not really alive and lighting up. So I think having this balance is also helping in terms of feeling good, and having my brain tell me, yes, we can do things today, we can work together, of course. So yeah, these are just simple twists that I'm doing, and they really make a difference in my day to day. Even on days where I can't control everything, if I go back to work and I'm not fully in control of how, when I can start, when I can finish, and how much workload I have, I could still do this thing. I could still check with my brain where it is, do some movement, take a good lunch break where I walk, ask questions to my colleagues to see if actually the things have to be done and where the pressure is coming from, and then making sure that I that keep balancing the rest of my life outside of work with some more like creative or like rest things that can be helpful. So all these things are still under my control to help my brain stay happy and healthy and engaged and happy with me in general. So yeah, this was my thinking about it. If you're also somebody who would like to stop putting pressure on your brain, welcome to the world of people who are trying. And if you have your own technique, just let me know in the comment, because I really want to hear. And yeah, this is a short video today because I'm on my way to do less. I'm on my way to go outside in the sun and do a long hike, which is the second best thing for my brain as well after this. Walking, like maybe you walk a lot and you realize how good it is. Yes, I'm here too. I'm sure you can relate. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. And if you don't know me, my name is Chloe, and I'm doing daily videos on YouTube where I talk about everything you can dream of to have a great life, build the life that really suits you, that is maybe completely outside of what your younger self would have believed, but it's still what you want. It's the life that fulfills you, where you have the great relationship, great career, and great just quality of life in general. So if you want to follow that, you can subscribe to the channel down below, and I will see you tomorrow for another video.